Afternoon, everybody. Jeff from Bucket Valley Garage. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the body control modules and better known as BCAs in the Mustang. We went ahead and got one used on eBay, and we've received that. Uh, any of these modules that we receive used, we take them apart because we want to see what the inside looks like. There are clips right here on the side all the way around. You just stick a screwdriver in there and you lightly pry it up and it comes apart, and you very gently take and lift it off of the other half. And you want to take a look at the board and hold it by the edges. Okay, don't touch any of the components on there, and you want to see what kind of shape it's in. So one of the things that we saw was in the description of the board, it said that there wasn't any corrosion on any of the terminals, and on preliminary examination, there wasn't. However, we went ahead and we opened it up already, and it turns out they'd used some kind of abrasive tool to take and clean all of the pins and everything on here. And there's a rubberized coating on here to take and keep the moisture out of the circuit board. We used to use a similar coating called Conformal Coat in aerospace. And it works very, very well for keeping components out of there. It's a nightmare to rework, but anyway, we noticed that over the entire area that there was copper dust. Okay, so what we actually did is we loaded up our spot gun. Okay, which is this one right here. It's got like a 6-8 ounce cup on it with alcohol and isopropyl alcohol, 70%, something like that. And we just took and held this by the upper corner and held it like this, and we actually just washed it off with isopropyl alcohol, and that'll be on both sides. And that took care of all of the copper dust that was on there. Okay. So since the board was all clean, we take and looked at all the pins, make sure everything, this is the old one by the way, we made sure the pins were all clean and everything. And then prior to taking putting it back together, we put dielectric grease down inside all of these pins. There are 6 connectors on here. There's one here, and then there's a couple on the back. Okay, there's one right here and one right here, and there's a couple there. Okay, so you want to make sure dielectric grease gets all down inside there, which will keep all the future moisture out of there. We're also going to take and do the connectors too. Okay, now when it comes to taking and putting the thing back in, okay, you'll notice that this board has all the pins and everything. Pins are really small. However, these right here are like little wells, and they like funnel in, so the boards just actually just drop right in there, so it's no problem. Okay, on once you take and get this back together, okay, you're basically ready to go. After you've cleaned it and you've put the dielectric grease on there, you go ahead and you snap the 2 halves back together, and you go ahead and according to the schematic diagram, you populate all of the fuses and the relay that goes in here. Okay, and this unit is actually ready to go. Okay, once you take and do all that. Okay, one thing on your mating connectors, okay, you can take and look at the outside or the inside of the areas where the connectors are, and it will show you where you have to clean the connectors. Okay, these on here don't look too bad. Okay, there's one right here, See, there's a little copper oxide right there. Okay, so we're going to have to take and clean that connector. Okay, so that's one. Okay, and then on the other half of the housing, okay, this connector here is J2. Okay, this one is really bad. Okay, so we had to take and clean that connector up, and I'll go into more of that in a second. And then this connector here had a couple of pins right here that needed cleaning, so we need to take and clean those connectors. Okay, so we get down to this one right here. This is J2. We saved this one for last. Okay, and there's a story behind this one, and let me show you. I'll go over to the car. So J2 actually looks like this. Okay, this is the back shell. Okay, it is a amphenol connector. Okay, and there are two connectors that actually slide into this, and this side right here was very, very dirty. Okay, and we've cleaned that up using Q-tips and isopropyl alcohol. Okay, and this one cleaned up very nicely. Okay, so these right here are the two connectors that slide back in there. Okay, and you notice there's still a little bit of contamination on there. Okay, so we have a product that we use on connectors. It's called Deoxit. Okay, this is Deoxit. Okay, it comes with kind of a needle in here that you can get down into connectors. You can put that in there. What this does is all that green oxidation that's on there, it just rips it right off. Okay, and it also takes and leaves a protective coating behind there. Being from aerospace, we like our connectors pristine clean, so we don't like to leave anything in there. So after we went ahead and we put the Deoxit in there, okay, in looking with the magnifying and hood, the corrosion didn't really go way up into the pin. You can see here that the pins are nice and shiny, and that's what you actually look for. But this connector would be okay, but since this connector here was a one that has all the stuff going to it that we were having problems with, we want to make sure this one is really, really clean. Okay, so to take and get these two connectors out of this, okay, you see right here there is a little keeper, and then there is a little keeper on the other side. Okay, and you just with your fingernail reach in there and pry that up, and then you take a screwdriver, real small one, and you push in these slots here, the big slots, and you will be able to take and push these two connectors out very gently. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put the Deoxit in there, and then we are going to take and flush it with brake clean. Okay, when you take and use any spray cleaner on any connectors or any plastic, take a piece of plastic that you don't really care about and spray some on there and see if it damages it. Okay, some of the spray cleaners do damage it. Okay, and obviously you don't want to take and use that, but we want to take and coat all these real good and everything, and then we have enough length on the cable where we can take the thing outside and we can spray it. We'll take and put a shop mat over here to take it and save the finish. Okay, let me tell you a little story about this connector right here. Okay, this is an aerospace connector. Okay, there is a part number on here, right in here. We went ahead and we looked it up on the internet. Yes, this replacement connector is available. However, it is $589 for this one connector. Okay, and I just found that unbelievable. Okay, so, and there's also 20 to 24 week lead time. So if we were in aerospace, we'd go ahead and order this, and 20, 24 weeks later on it would come in and it wouldn't really bother us because we'd schedule all that. But I want this car out of here, okay, and I'm not going to wait a couple of months to take and get that done. All right, so they do have on eBay a set of these connectors, all the connectors on here. You know, the big ones, the small ones. This one right here, we had to go clean this one, and there are keepers on the side of here that you can pop those things off, and the pins are inserted from the back, so you don't have to worry about the pins falling out. And then we can clean this entirely well, and then we can clean the pins really well, and then it only goes on one way. You can take it, snap it back on. Okay, but this connector right here, that was really something else. That was quite a shock to see that was so expensive. Okay, so we'll go ahead and clean that connector up, and then we'll take and put the body control module back in. Okay, we know that there is a problem with moisture coming down over the body control module, because right above where the body control module is, if you can see up here, there's a plastic lip right there that acts like a drain gutter, okay, that routes the water over the BCA, or BCM rather, okay. So this is a little well that it takes and goes back into. Okay, so there's connectors on the back, connectors on the front. So what we're going to do is there is supposed to be a plastic sheet that is going over the front of the body control module, and it was MIA. So we're going ahead and go and see if we can find a piece of waterproof foam and put it across there and really weatherproof this thing. The fact that we've put the dielectric grease in the connectors will help out an absolute bunch. Anyway, if you take care of all those things, you should have a good project, and all your problems should be under control. Okay, just wanted to take and bring you some information that I ran into. Hopefully it'll make it a little bit easier to take and get your job done. And we really thank you for stopping by. Thank you all the reviewers and all of the subscribers. We love you all. Hope you had a great Christmas, and New Year's is going to be here in about a week, and we want to make sure that we're safe. Okay, you take care. We'll see you next time.